On today's edition of the Heat Report by Chat Sports, we're talking the latest on the Damian Lillard trade rumors. And number two, Austin Rivers wants to be a Miami Heat basketball player. We're talking all of that on today's show. So if you want the latest on the Miami Heat, subscribe to the channel, but also follow me on Twitter because I break down everything on my Twitter first and then come on the channel and make a video for you guys. So follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. First 5 people to follow me get a follow back and a shout out on the next show at Nic_Rohloff. Go follow me right now. All right, let's jump into the latest on Damian Lillard. And is Portland not interested in what the Heat still have to offer for Mr. Dame Time? The latest suggests that they really haven't had any intrigue in the Miami Heat's trade package. This is coming from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, and he said a source said this week that Portland generally has continued to be reluctant to engage the Heat in serious talks and is acted disinterested in getting a deal done quickly with Miami, though that conceivably could change as the start of training camp approaches. And you know what? I just can't do it anymore. This man right here, Joe Cronin, he is the worst of the worst, an absolute scumbag. And I am going to go more in depth on why he is a scumbag here in a second. But just a quick little cliff notes. He lied. All he does is lie. He lied to Dame. He lied to the media. He lied to the public. It is disgusting what this bald-headed dude has done. He has spun an image that is utterly false. It is wrong. It is disgusting behavior. And I will come on here on the show and say right now that he should be banished from the NBA because the way he has been treating this situation, the way he operates is slimy, and I just don't want this in our league right now. So I'll ask you, do you hate Joe Cronin, the Portland Trailblazers GM? Type Y for yes or type Y for yes. There is only one answer acceptable, so you better be typing those Ys in the comment section. Why do I hate Joe Cronin? Well, maybe this is wrong, changes soon, but he is currently spiting Damian Lillard and kind of like spitting in his face, honestly. We're talking about the franchise GOAT of the Portland Trailblazers. You might bring up Clyde Drexler and Bill Walton and other greats that have taken them maybe to the NBA Finals. But when you talk about scoring, being a face of the organization, and being a leader in the Portland community, there is not one person who has done it better than Damian Lillard. And he had one simple request: to trade him to the Miami Heat. Damian Lillard has been on record saying that he wished things worked out in Portland and he wished he could contend for a championship with the Portland Trailblazers. He's 33 years old. He wants to win a ring at this late stage of his career, and Portland failed to do that and help him get a roster to that stage. And now that he wants out, you're not going to give him his best wishes after you promised you would. And more on that promise from Eric Brandt, who works for the Blazers Uprise podcast, but he jumped on the 5 on the Floor podcast and spilled some tea. I was told that the Blazers basically told Dame, you don't need a no-trade clause because we respect you so much, you basically have one in our eyes. Anytime you want out of this situation, you have earned that. We will take care of you. So then he signs the extension. How can you do this? You tell your franchise GOAT when he's negotiating for that 5-year contract extension that if you ever wanted out of Portland, we will take care of you because of everything you have done for this organization. And then you go back on your word when Dame actually asks out. Joe Cronin and the Portland Trailblazers front office have no integrity, and they went back on their word. And that is slimy, nasty behavior. And I am glad that this is going out to the public, because when you talk about free agents and teams that, or players that want to leave their current situation, you know who will not be on a list of teams that player wants to go to? The Portland Trailblazers. Because the ship that they are running over there is disgusting, and it's just bad practice from that front office. It just makes me mad, really, because they're doing players dirty, and I just don't respect that whatsoever. make sure you do subscribe here at the Heat Report because I'm going to call it how it is. And we have the Damian Lillard situation on absolute lockdown. So make sure you join the channel and hit that sub button so you're the most informed Heat fan on the planet. Next on the Dame situation, Barry Jackson also reported this in that article that he had earlier. If Damian Lillard is traded to a team other than Miami, which is what Cronin, I guess, in Portland is willing to do, he is expected to ask to be traded to the Heat immediately. I got to say this, dude. I just talked about how much I hate Joe Cronin and the Portland Trailblazers. The opposite could not be what I love Damian Lillard more. I said that backwards because I'm a dumb person right now, and I'm fired up. But I absolutely love Dame. Heat legend already in my eyes. And I will say, imagine if Damian Lillard actually got traded to a different team. Like, right? Portland sends them to, say, the Toronto Raptors, because that's what they did. And then he asked for a trade the next day already to the Miami Heat. Like, that would be objectively hilarious, and it might be one of the most funny things we have ever seen happen in the NBA. Get traded to a team you don't want to be traded to, and then the next day ask for a trade to the team you did want to get traded to. It would be hilarious, and I really do hope Dame becomes a member of the Miami Heat because he just embodies the Heat culture, man. He just wants to be part of the crew, and I absolutely respect that. Another thing that I respect is BetUS because they are the best sports book in the game, and I respect the deal that they are hooking you guys up with at chatsports.com/bet. If you use promo code CHAT125, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus, which means if you deposit $100, you'll get another $125 to play with for basically free, which means you're getting $225 to start off your account. So chatsports.com/bet. Use the bet on the NBA season coming up, NFL Week 3 this weekend, or college football is in full swing as well. One more time, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125 for 125% deposit bonus. Now is Austin Rivers. Yeah, Austin Rivers, a member of the Miami Heat coming up soon. Well, he certainly wants to be because he said this on the Bill Simmons podcast just today. Miami is a dream destination for every player like me. Coach Spo doesn't coach anybody based off merits or contract. I would do anything to play for the Miami Heat. And I'll say this right now, I am very open to bringing in Austin Rivers to be a member of this Miami Heat team for a lot of reasons, right? Like, he has experience, and even though he's been on teams and hasn't really won at the highest level, I do respect him being a multi-year, a 10-year vet in this league. And yeah, he's declined over the last 4 seasons, but I would be interested in bringing him in to see what he has to offer. Over the last 4 years, he's never eclipsed over 10 points per night, but that's not the type of player he is, right? He's not going to be someone who takes over the offense. He's someone that's going to be a backup role player that complements your starters when on the court. And he has bounced around, right? Like 4 years ago, he was the Rockets, then he was with the Knicks and Nuggets, then the Nuggets, then the Timberwolves. He's just been all over the place. And yeah, the shooting numbers aren't pretty. We'll dive more into that in a second. But shooting 35, 36, 34, and 35% from three could be something that takes a bump up when he's in the Miami Heat system. I'm going to go more in depth on Austin Rivers here in a second, but I'll ask you just off the rip. Be the GM. Be Pat Riley. A Damian Lillard trade happens or doesn't happen. Would you sign Austin Rivers to be a backup guard on this roster? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Let me know in the comments section. One more time, and for the people in the back, if you haven't heard me already, the Miami Heat's biggest need outside of getting Damian Lillard is a backup point guard. Because even with the current roster at hand, your backup point guard is Tyler Hero. I love Tyler, but I don't think I would want him to be the backup point guard for an entire season. Bring in a guy like Austin Rivers, hell, maybe even Kendrick Nunn or Cam Payne, to be that guy to when Dame sits down or when Kyle Lowry sits down, they can run the offense, be the Gabe Vincent of last year. The Heat absolutely need another point guard. And could it be Austin Rivers? His advanced shooting numbers are less to be desired. I'll be honest here. When he's within 10 feet from the basket, it's not horrible. 59% from the field, but he doesn't shoot it often, right? He's more of a jump shooter. He's not going to attack the cup and finish amongst the trees. 1.6 field goal attempts per game, 59%. In the pull-up game, he doesn't shoot it often, so I'm just going to throw out those numbers immediately. 0.4 field goal attempt a night is not a sample size worth analyzing, so we're throwing that out. But the catch-and-shoot 3 numbers is doable. 36.3% on 2 shots a game. And I do think that number could take a hike up when playing with the Miami Heat, but 36% is doable. And can I be honest with you guys? It might be the toxic Miami Heat fan in me, but I absolutely believe if the Heat brought in Austin Rivers, Coach Spo and the Miami Heat coaching staff would absolutely be able to revitalize Austin Rivers' career. They've done it with role players. They've made money for players like Tyler Johnson, James Johnson, now Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. There is a repeated history of Heat coaching staff revitalizing and re-upping a player's ability to play the game and getting him paid. So at age 31, if Austin Rivers came in, I would absolutely expect his three-point shooting number to jump up from the 35, 36 as it is at right now, potentially to 38, 39 on that small sample size. So yes, I would be willing to sign him because the Heat need a backup guard, and I trust the Heat coaching staff to pull a rabbit out of a hat and make Austin Rivers look good again like he was with the Clippers playing for his dad, Doc. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you do subscribe to the Heat Report because if a Damian Lillard trade does happen, we're going live. If the Heat do sign Austin Rivers or any other free agent, we're making a video. So don't miss out. Lock us in here at the Heat Report because we'll have you covered with everything Miami Heat.